Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me, forever and ever, and definitely not gone for a month, is Ben.
Certainly not overseas. That'd be
Certainly
crazy.
not.
How would we be doing this otherwise? There's no other way.
I mean, how would it happen? That's just not possible.
We're talking about anime.
We're talking about anime today.
Specifically, we had a episode earlier where Hank suggested anime to me based on the so very many aspects of it that I dislike, hoping that something would stick. And I did some test runs. I did some first episodes, and we're gonna see the results. At least for some of them. I think I haven't counted. 11. Yeah, out of 11 anime, I watched. We'll say like 5.5 episodes. Maybe 6.
There are 7 things listed here.
There are 7 things listed there. Yes, you are not wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah, like my goal was to give you things you could be interested in, but I didn't want you to like commit to trying to watch something you were going to hate, because that's not a productive way to like a thing. The productive thing is to try things and see maybe if something catches your interest.
Mm-hmm. The first one I tried was intending to watch all of, as it's only like 12 episodes, was Tsuritama, which was the fishing anime. I feel a little lied to. I feel a little betrayed, even though you didn't technically lie or betray me. It doesn't stop me from feeling that way. Like, I was really thinking there'd be more fishing and less aliens. I don't know what I expected, but I did 3 episodes of it because, again, when I started this, I intended to just watch all of it.
Mm-hmm. I will say to the record, I was trying to make it clear if you're not into something to move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's my.
I was giving it a bit of time because I would rate this like a perfect 5. It is totally average. It is not. I don't think I'd ever go out of my way to finish it. But as I mentioned to you, if I was hanging out with people and for some reason someone was like, yo, let's like do a 12 episode binge, just watch a short anime, I'd be like, yeah, all right, sure. Like, no qualms about it.
It's pretty laid back.
Yeah.
Mostly like they're aliens, but it's still pretty slice of lifey.
Oh yeah, for sure. It wasn't, and that was
kids.
That was like the big thing. Like, it wasn't overbearing with anything.
Yes, totally.
And that's what offset. I'm like, there's some stuff here that normally I wouldn't like, but it's not going as far as I know it could with some of it. So I'm like, this is fine. Like, I'm okay with this.
There's that duck. That duck.
Yeah, there's that duck, dude. And like, I don't know. It had nothing to do with me liking it or not. I was pretty amused by the, like, I grew up in central Wisconsin. I didn't know that there were people too dumb to fish. Like, I guess I didn't know that was a thing. Like, he drops the lure in the water. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of these. I see what's happening here. Spends a whole episode like tying the knot. I'm like,
gotta start somewhere, man.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, this is not what I was expecting. I was thinking it was a dude who just liked fishing. Was what I had like. I thought it was gonna be an anime about the other guy who was the pro fisher.
No. This is about a character who learns to appreciate fishing, who fucking knows nothing.
Yeah.
Also, it's just, again, what I like about it is just it's kind of laid back and charming.
Yeah,
it's just nice. It's just a nice thing.
Oh,
and that can go super boring.
Yeah.
So which I just don't feel Tsuritama is. Tsuritama is engaging enough.
Yes. No, it is not. I wouldn't call it boring. It's just like, I guess at the end of the day,
it's not a strong hook.
It's too anime for me, in a way. And the many one of the many ways that anime can be anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not in the overbearing way, though. But
no.
In the,
I think it's just like, also maybe something to do, like, just not what I'm in the mood for. And maybe like maybe I'll eat my words someday and finish it, and I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty good. But just not what I'm looking for right now.
That's fair.
Which was the case with like many of these.
Gotcha.
Generally, the ones where I like started it and watched like half of the first episode, like that's pretty much like, nope, just not looking for the opposite of whatever this is right now. I don't know what it is, but that's.
Yeah, no.
The second one I tried was Magical Shopping Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty into it. Like, after just the first episode, I'm like, yeah, I wanna see more of this. I wanna see where it goes. I think the two things that I point to are the art style I really like. I don't know, I couldn't like point my finger at an element of it, but just like how the two main characters, like how their faces specifically are drawn, like it's very endearing. I don't know. And the fact that there's
an energy energy to it.
Yeah, and they're like, the fact that they're kids and they're like clearly kids and they're not like, I'm in 7th grade but also I'm 25, like anime trope. Like, I enjoy that they're like kids going on, like they're about to have this adventure, dude. There's a fucking castle at the end of the episode. Like,
it's true.
I'm pretty stoked to see where it goes. Like, I'm on board that.
Like, that one comes from Studio Gainax, who they're known for Evangelion. But like, one of the things they're known for is good animation that then they blow their budget too early, and then they have bad animation. Like, they're known also for twists and stuff. Okay. But they've made a lot of garbage, I would say.
Sounds right.
And kind of this and the series of theirs that I really love is Fooly Cooly, which is like a 6-episode thing that was actually, I think, more popular in the U.S. because it aired on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And it never aired on TV in Japan. It was only on OVAs.
Gotcha.
But I would say that that's like the more focused thing of teenagers, of like 13-year-olds angst and like being that age. This is more, it has this structure of being parodies of stuff, but also having this like relationship between this boy and girl kind of at the center of it. And then there's like then the plot becomes a little more serious and like emotionally involved at a certain point, as opposed to just fun adventures, which I think works in this show, I would say.
Yeah.
For what it is. I would say this is a show that I always like it more in my head than when I'm watching it until I get to the end, just because a lot of the jokes, it does like episodes that are parodies of genre, and I don't know that its jokes are my favorite part. It's definitely the emotional stuff and like the characters stuff that I like the most in it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested. I will continue on. The third one that I watched was Rose of Versailles. That's like I even put it like in Google Doc. I have Magical Shopping Arcade is yes second, and Rose of Versailles is yes first. I'm like, this is gonna get fucking watched. And very clearly the reason is that it's an older anime, which means it's not
like
anime.
70s.
Yeah. So it's not a fucking anime. It's an anime.
I mean, it's pretty anime. But
but like
anime of that era.
Yeah, it's not like it's not Gurren Lagann or whatever. Gurren Lagann. Basically. Like, that's I'm like, I am interested in the story. like the art and the sound is kind of wonky at times, but that's like just a product of the era. I don't care.
Yes, totally.
And I'm like, I'm interested in this. Partially because I know that like no one's gonna be like showing up with fucking blue hair and giant tits wagging around on the screen.
I thought you loved blue hair.
Not an anime.
I mean, yeah, this is
that's a lie. You know what?
Yeah, no, this is an adaptation of the like lead up to the French Revolution, except you have like a framing character who's a woman who was raised as a man, basically.
I know that first, like,
because
you're not a girl, you're my son. I'm like,
thankfully,
oh, no.
Someone convinced the writer that just writing the mangaka, the woman who wrote the original comic that it was based on, that just writing a story about Marie Antoinette was maybe not the best idea. Like, maybe you need to balance that out somehow.
Yeah.
This is what Rose of Versailles in like its first arcs is just about ladies at court being bitchy, and I love it.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's so good.
I mean, I'm in. That's all I needed, honestly.
I quite enjoyed Rose of Versailles.
I was like kind of chuckling though because there were some shots of Oscar, and I was like, who the fuck put Griffin in this? Did they steal Griffin from this character? Like in Berserk? Like the flowing hair, the light skin shit. I'm like, I'm seeing a resemblance here. I don't know that bodes well for the ending.
Well, it's the French Revolution, so it's not. I'll say it's not a happy ending.
I mean, you know,
because the French Revolution.
You told me there was an anime about fishing, and there were also aliens in it, so it can be about the French Revolution, and then also have like demonic hell spawn.
It's true, but that's not the case. Also, the aliens are like super incidental. They just happen to be there in certain.
Yeah. I rolled out
Rose of Versailles. I would say it was kind of burned on me in the end because it's pretty long. Like it's like 50 episodes or something. And the end, it's pretty bleak because it's the French Revolution. But the part early on that's all about ladies at court being bitchy.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
It's
anime
so
Downton Abbey.
Also, Rose of Versailles was sold from the first episode when it ended with like just two characters punching each other. Till they
that
fall
fucking
down.
fist fight.
That's so good. Oscar is fucking just hitting the punching until they fall down. You just can't stand it.
All I could fucking think about was when he's like, punch me as hard as you can. I was like, put poison mushrooms in my omelet. Like, that's all I could fucking think about. But no, it was a really good scene.
Yeah. I'll say one of the reasons I wanted to watch this is because it was one of the really influential things on my favorite anime, which is Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is about a character who dresses as a boy at school.
Okay.
Is kind of she decides she's like the kind of guiding principle of that is there's a girl who was saved by a prince at a young age and then decides, you know what, I'm gonna become a prince.
I'm gonna do that thing. Yeah, okay.
I will save princesses. That's a noble thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's a much deeper show than this. This is just historical drama that's has its classic shoujo style and stuff. But yeah, Rose of Versailles, I would call it that's just solid, good, like very influential kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, I watched Peacemaker, Kurogane. You misspelled it in your thing, but that's fine. Yeah, okay. I found the thing.
Yeah.
I have that listed as a hard no. It put me off with the title music.
Okay.
And it didn't stop. There was the shining moment of hope is when the theme ended, and there was still some like kick and guitar going. I was like, maybe I'm gonna get like a samurai metal anime. I'd be kind of down for that. And that was just like, nope. Also not that. And I just, yeah. And the kids started yelling, and I'm like, I know this is probably going somewhere, but I just don't care right now. And I just turned it off.
No, I mean that one is also based on historical things, so it ends tragically, I would say. But it's more standard anime.
Yep.
That is like, I would call that a standard unit of anime.
Yep.
Kind of. One of my highlights for that one is the ending theme, but that's just because it is saying you've got to fight for, but the way they say it, it just sounds like you've got to 5 for. So I just like that. This just tickles me. But yeah, I could see that being less your thing.
Yeah.
I get that.
And that was like, that is, out of all the stuff I watched, that's the only one that like is an actual no. Yeah, it's just whatever. The fact that there were already like 2 yeses, like, it's pretty good for me.
Yeah, I think that's also the lowest ranked one out of any of these on my tier list.
Okay.
I'd say.
I tried to do Irresponsible Captain Tyler. There was like 2 different versions that I found, and one of them was like 95 and the other one was not 95 or something. I don't know.
Later ones are probably bad.
Okay.
I would say.
I just like skipped it. I'm like, I'll just move on and watch it another time.
There was like a sequel OVA, and then there's like a more modern series.
It was probably the more modern series then, so I'll go back and watch the older one at some point.
The original one is from 93.
Okay, gotcha. So I skipped over that and watched Baccano. Easily the best intro. That first episode, like the horns going and just like the intro to all the characters and stuff. That's how you do a hook. That's how you fucking get people interested.
It's a good intro. Also, because that show has like 1 billion characters.
Yeah, no,
so
there's a lot.
It gives you all their names in the intro, which is very important.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, these are all the people in this thing.
I watched through the entire episode. I put like yes maybe, but I'll probably like come back to it at some point. I just wasn't as excited like by the end of it. But
that one is kind of, I will say that one is kind of weird because it's not a normal episode. It's like introducing you to that this is a story, and we're not going to tell you who the main character, like you're going to kind of go in and there's going to be all these characters, and we're kind of be figuring out where the story is.
Yeah. And from a narrative standpoint, like I really like that, like the whole meta thing of like the vice president and his assistant, like maybe we're the main characters. And I'm like, oh, I gotcha. Like that was cool.
Yeah, I would say it goes away from those framing characters as it goes on. After that episode, that's kind of just you're in, but it does jump through time throughout the thing.
Do you recommend subs or dubs for it?
I've never watched it dubs.
Okay. I looked it up because I was kind of curious, and people said like the dubs are also fine. So I actually watched like probably the first half in subs and then the second half in dubs. I could go either way. I don't think I'd like one more than the other. It seems like a good dub, because I actually rewatched like part of the first half then, and it was like pretty spot on as far as what the subs were saying it was. So
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people who
that's
are
nice.
into dubs, I've heard say it's a good dub.
It's
just-
no fucking space dandy, but like it's okay.
Yeah. I just prefer.
Yeah.
I just watch subs. It's
Yep.
I like. Let me put it this way: I watch Phantom Thread with subtitles on. It's just
Oh yeah, and I always have like subtitles on. Like I was kind of
Yeah,
disappointed
so-
that the dub didn't have the subtitles with it. I was like, fuck.
yeah.
But there was also kind of that element of like, oh, this one seems like people are saying that the dub isn't bad. Like I'm gonna turn this on while I like also run around and do other stuff while watching it.
That's totally fair.
Like, so yeah, it was.
I 100% get you.
It was not Digimon levels. Not like I'm gonna turn this on and start up a video game to play while I half pay attention. But,
Uh huh.
yeah. Hoo-hoo. But yeah, it was it was decent. I think that's one that I'm like, it's not what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That one goes places. I just say that's
Yeah.
That one definitely goes places. And honestly, like your biggest hint to where it's going is when that character gets his fingers cut off, and then they.
Well, that or the bit where they both get like riddled with bullets and are fine. One or the other.
That too. Yeah, whatever. There's stuff. There's stuff going on.
I was slightly disappointed when the dude's fingers like reattached themselves to his body, because at first I thought he was just gonna be this hardcore motherfucker. Like, dude grabbed a blade and is losing his fingers, but like then they reattach. I'm like, okay, that's less hardcore. I don't respect you when you're obviously not, like, when it's something you don't have to be worried about.
There are characters in that show that are very hardcore that are not immortal.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's a very violent show.
Mobile Gundam. I also did not stick with a lot of it was like that was another one, like for that, and actually for Wolf's Rain. I just have like cuz I think those are just very much like especially Mobile Gundam, like I just wasn't feeling it right now, but like my interest was piked. Like I'm curious. At some point I'll like come back, and it also helped just seeing like, because I guess I was envisioning like newer Gundam stuff in terms of like animation and style and whatever, and that one's older than I expected, which is totally fine, obviously, but
Yeah.
just need to like reassociate what I'm thinking about when I go in, and that one will probably get watched.
Yeah, that one's Gundam, but more grounded.
Yeah.
Also, because like Gundam's going around in the swamp at the start of that thing.
One important reason why I'll probably come back to it. That's whatever the redheaded mechanic's name is. I'm gonna be real with you.
Fair enough. I mean, that one's the one that's Romeo and Juliet also. So that
Yeah.
that's like the whole reason that
Yeah.
I actually like that one. Like there are
Yeah.
Gundam people, they're like, this one's good because it's more grounded in realism. Like it is that, but really it's because it's Romeo and Juliet is the reason.
So that'll probably happen. I don't see it not happening. Wolf's Rain was like the reason why it like didn't click with me is like entirely my fault. I went in with not even like, oh, it's about fishing, but it's not as much fishing as I wanted. It's not even like that. Like I just had not even just flat out wrong, just an entirely incorrect image of that anime. And they like started out with like guns and the train and like technology and stuff, and I'm like, I was probably informed about all of this and then forgot it and then was expecting like more of a fantasy thing. That's not what this is, and I recognize that I'm wrong here, but like
Yeah, it's kind of like
so that's just like me being an idiot, and I'll
it's
come
pretty
back to it.
apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's end of
was
the
good.
world kind of thing.
Like it was fine for what it was, just like that jarring feeling never really went away. So I will
I would say,
probably
I don't know that one puts its like you definitely get it from the first episode. Because I don't think there's enough snow in the first episode to completely get it. Because that is the defining thing about that is characters out in the snow and the cold and dying.
I think I will come back to it and like rewatch it in its entirety.
Also, the
like
girl
half.
with blue hair doesn't show up till like the very end.
Yeah, see, that's important.
Well, I guess there's the other girl with blue hair who's the plant lady. She shows up pretty soon. Pretty early, though.
That's probably why this is on the list. Blue-haired plant lady. Like, there it is.
Yes.
So, yeah. I will revisit it in its entirety someday. But Rose of Versailles and Magical Shopping Arcade, those are the ones I'm going to, like, dive into at some point. So that's nice. Like, it's been, like, a while now. I've been feeling like I could go for an anime. The problem is they're all terrible. But I found a couple that aren't terrible.
It's the thing. Like, when I try to find anime, me and my friend will just sit down and watch random stuff on first episodes of stuff on Crunchyroll. Mm-hmm. Like, this is terrible. Yep, this is awful. This is real bad. And then eventually maybe find something that's good.
Yeah. I did actually go out on my own, and there was one I had at the bottom of this list, and I was just like staring at it. I'm like, it's not one of the ones that Homer recommended, but it's like sitting here, and I've already watched like a mix of good and bad things today. I should just jump in. So I watched an episode. It's called Fushigi no Umi no Nadia. But it's like the secret of blue water or something. Mm-hmm. Also, very clearly an older one that might have had like a reboot at some point. I don't know. If you're looking it up, you will realize immediately why I'm watching it. But it actually did like it had that same kind of. They're older, but it had that same kind of like kid adventure feel as Magical Shopping Arcade had. Like, just by the end of the first episode, how the two main characters were interacting with each other. I'm like, this is pretty neat. This has that same feel, and I'll probably continue on for a bit. I don't know anything about it, so that was interesting. Yeah.
That's also a Gainax show, but that's earlier.
Earlier than than Magical Shopping Arcade?
Yeah.
Okay.
But and it's directed by partially by Hideaki Anno, who directed Evangelion, which went on to define Gainax, but it's before that, so it's not
neat.
It's just an earlier thing by
that's cool though.
Talented director, I'll say. I've never watched it. Also, that's the guy who directed Shin Godzilla.
Sounds like a banger.
But yeah, Evangelion is like super defined by him going through depression while he was making that one.
Oh,
so
yeah, that'll affect the.
And
work.
then it going crazy, and then all the sponsors pulling out because they got nervous, except for like Sega, I think funded the whole end of that anime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it like kind of falls apart in terms of animation and stuff. It gets weird as a result. But it's also like the most it's such a weird thing because it's also like the most popular anime, even though it's super weird. Yeah. It's a thing. Evangelion is like,
I thought we were talking about Evangelion, not Berserk.
Yeah.
Most popular anime.
No. It's Evangelion. at least in Japan.
Yeah, well, there's more countries out there.
It's also super influential on stuff. So many things rip it off in various ways.
Yep.
And not as well. Don't kind of miss the point in certain respects, but it's like a thing. Doing the thing.
I was thinking about so at some point we're doing Berserk and Mushishi.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Mushishi after Phantom Thread, because you mentioned like about like kind of moody things and then like having a direction at the end and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I should warn you that like there's no direction. Like there's not like a resolution to anything because there's nothing to have a resolution to.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I know. I'm
Okay.
aware of. That's why I was less
Okay.
excited
wanted
about
to, like,
watching that one.
I just want to
just
be
because
like
I know
perfectly
myself.
clear.
Whereas
Perfectly clear
Berserk, I
about that.
think I will like, honestly, because it's just tragedy.
There's other tastefully done things in Berserk.
I'm aware, Ben.
I was talking about the fucking mid arc. This guy. They actually did take like the only. It's called like the Golden Age arc in the manga, and it's like the only arc where everything isn't terrible. And it's like, all right, we'll do this. We'll do this as an anime. Also, maybe with Mushishi. I don't know. My couple of friends that I've told to watch it, I've suggested that they start on episode 2. But I'm also biased because episode 2 is prettier, has prettier things in it. And episode 1 is kind of sure, okay, stuff's here. So
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna find it boring. I'll say.
Could very well be. If people say it's boring, I can fault many things that people might say about it, but boring is probably not one of them.
Yeah. And again, I've just gotten more. I found myself getting more impatient. So I'm getting as the years go on.
Great.
When I'm
Great. So
watching
you're
something.
watching this at like peak time.
I don't know why. I don't feel like that's the normal arc people go with. I feel like they maybe get more patient. I've gotten less patient, I've found.
I mean, that's because you have less time, right?
Probably.
Every day is a day closer to death. Got
true.
less time to do shit.
It's like, what's your point here, dude?
I've definitely told my friends who smoke weed that they should watch this anime because it's a really good chill out anime. It's just very quiet. It's a sleepy anime. It's sleepy. There it is. It's a sleepy time. I wouldn't go as far as to say ASMR, but it's sleepy. It's pretty damn sleepy.
So boring.
Okay.
Is what you're...
No, it's not a fucking. It's not the PGA game on a Sunday afternoon with the window open. It's It's like I don't even know what film I could compare it to.
I don't know. If you could compare it to the right one, then maybe I would be intrigued. If you compare it to the wrong one, maybe I'd be less interested.
Yeah. Well, that's a fucking landmine for me. Yeah, I can't think. I'm sure there's one out there. I just don't know what I could. You know what? It's like Planet Earth 2, but without the plot. Like that's the best I got.
I don't need plot. I need
Actually-
character interaction. Is a thing for me.
It actually might have as much plot as Planet Earth 2 does. That's a lie.
Okay. Again, plot is actually not that important for me. It's if character interaction is there. and dialogue.
There's characters that interact.
Okay.
No, it's. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue because that's like all it is. There's no action.
Again, I like Tsuritama.
Yeah.
I can like laid back things. I just need people. I need to be, characters
You need to be
I like or
intrigued.
whatever.
Yeah. You need to be seduced.
I don't need that.
No, you need to be seduced into liking the thing that you're watching.
No.
I'm looking at
I don't need to be rock hard.
how most of my anime watching starts.
Don't. I mean, I really don't need that, mostly because I was mostly introduced to anime by girls and a gay guy who do not share my tastes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So, different perspective on how I was introduced to anime.
Yeah.
Starting out.
I'm looking at the stuff I have left. So, Monster is that's the dude who saves somebody. And like there's like
he saves a kid instead of the mayor and ruins his career, and then the kid grows up and murders everyone at the hospital above him.
Great. Okay.
And then he goes out to track the guy down, and it's mystery and it's more adult than it's not targeted at teenagers.
Yeah. There's Yuri Kumarashi. Is that
That's Lesbian Bear Storm. I think will be too anime for you, but it is Lesbian Bear Storm.
There's like that perfect. It's like that perfect bullseye of like, this is fucking dumb, but I'm doing it.
And I think that show is legitimately great. Not the creator's best work, but because he also created Revolutionary Uteno, which is my favorite anime, and Maru Penguin Drum, which is my other favorite anime. Yuri Kumarashi sits right below those, I'd say, on the tier list.
Princess Tutu is like the duck thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why I agreed to it, right? Like, there's a duck that turns into a person. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
That one is like also it's German folklore stuff. Is
okay.
Kind of part of because it's like Don Quixote, but for German, like fairy tale stuff rather than
I remember
ballet, rather than chivalry.
I remember Lesbian Bears was definitely the only reason I did that one.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll do it. I can't not.
They're bears, they're lesbians, and they're lesbian bears.
Fuck yeah.
All covered.
New EDH deck coming at you. Don't think I won't, dude. The only one that I forget entirely what it's about is Do Ra Ra Ra.
That's by the same team and writer as Baccano.
Okay.
So it's pretty similar, but it's longer and it's like a story based in a city instead of like this like train thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like the larger scope of a city and all the way like gangs interact within a larger space and kind of thing. And there's a headless biker lady who has a motorcycle helmet with cat ears she wears, but she doesn't actually have a head. She takes it off.
As you do. As you do.
It's pretty similar to Baccano, but I think it's ultimately better. But it's harder to recommend because it's longer, mostly.
Gotcha.
I'd say.
Yeah. That I'm not. Yeah, I'll probably like. I mean, whenever I get a chance, I'll. Yeah, I don't know. Lesbian bear anime though. I like knew there were bears and like there was a love story. I forgot there was like lesbian bears. Like that just adds the extra like not even sexual element, just like I gotta know. Like I need to know.
Yeah, that one also has like kind of, I would say, establishes a thing, and then like 3 episodes in, completely throws a lot of stuff it's established out of the window.
Great.
Which is part of the reason I find it more easier to recommend than Maru Penguin Drum, because Maru Penguin Drum takes like 7 episodes to do its thing of like shaking everything up.
Gotcha.
So it's like it's a longer commitment to you have to like to see where it starts to take shape.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hirikuma is also only like 12 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, which is definitely part of the thinking with some of the recommendations. Is shorter.
Yeah.
Might as well watch short things first. People who are like, go watch the 100 episode thing.
Go watch One Piece. It's so good. Okay, first off, fuck yourself. I'm not watching 400 episodes of anything without like substantial evidence that it's going to be worth my time. I'm like even starting it. Just no. It's not going to fucking happen.
I've watched Dragon Ball and Naruto. I can't.
Yeah.
I will watch new Dragon Ball that they put out if it's good, but I can't.
I mean,
I can't go into another thing.
There's technically a second season in like an OVA or 2 of Mushishi. And if they do a third, I'll be balls deep in that as well. Give me more. Just keep it pumping.
Keep it pumping. And I mean, there are things that I would keep watching forever, and there are things that they've put out
that
more
need
and
to
it's
stop.
Bad, and I just ignore it. Like Tyler. Tyler is a series with a great ending.
And they did more.
And I think the creator died, and they kept making
great.
like tie-in stuff. And they did tie-in stuff that didn't really have anything to do with the story or whatever. So
like that one anime where it fucking ended like a long time ago, and they wanted to bring it back like 2018 style. What was it fucking called? King of the Hill. Yeah. That joke never fucking gets old for me, dude. Top tier anime. That Western anime.
my favorite thing about King of the Hill is the artist's guide stuff that I found. Someone on Twitter posted. It's like, no snake eyes. Like, don't draw people with reptilian eyes.
Yeah.
No smiling.
I mean, that's yeah.
No high fives.
Hell yeah. That's the show. That's the whole show.
That's the whole show. Honestly, the whole show is that montage of them drinking during the opening.
Yeah.
Just have that, and you didn't need to make the rest of the show. Well, I guess you needed his dad yelling racist
Dang
stuff.
it, Bobby.
Yeah, you needed a dang it Bobby in there, too.
I mean, the only thing I point to, and this is the cartoon that I'm going to convince my dad to watch, because there is an entire episode on lawn. Like, there's a football field, and they start, like, adjusting the grass to take advantage of the enemy teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, the whole episode is like, well, if we put more nitrogen in the soil, we could blah, 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 blah. And I like, it's 23 minutes of that. And it's great. Like, it's fucking dumb, but it's amazing. Like, this was my life growing up. I identify with all of the shit that goes on in that show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So there'll be like a second round of this. Second round of like follow-up anime.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll even
Ben
finish
ever
one.
watches a full anime, we'll talk about it.
Ooh, an individual podcast episode.
If you made it through a whole series, we would do that. If you just watch some more episodes, we'll clump them together.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. It's all based on what you end up doing.
I will probably make it through at least one. Don't know which one. Like right now, Rose of Versailles is coming out, but Lesbian Bears might catch up, dude. It might be the.
That one has a transformation scene where like a flower grows out of the girl, and the other bear girls start licking it. That's the thing that happens. It's very intentional.
You said you didn't need to be rock hard to watch an anime, but not all of us can be like you. Yeah.
Also, I find it funny that show starts with like it's fucking Attack on Titan, where there's this wall that separates bears and humans.
Yeah.
Although humans are all teenage girls mostly.
Fuck yeah.
But these bears are these tiny, cute little bears.
As you do.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But I think that's gonna be this episode.
Yeah, we're cutting a little short, which planned.
Yep.
Stuff to
do. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're not. It's not like you're going anywhere. It's not like you've been anywhere for.
It's not like I'm currently
month.
there doing this podcast live from that place.
Well, that's definitely not happening. You can email us, saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on soundcloud.com/saltcircle. On Twitter @saltcirclepod, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or Google Play Music, whatever. Salt Circle Podcast. Find me on Twitter @comicpanels.
I'm on Twitter @bean_LP. The flower just grows right out of her.
Yeah.
Just out, like, where? Navel?
It's
Puss? Face? Is it an ass flower?
I think it's puss. It's not
course,
completely
naturally.
clear. It might be, or it might be chest. I can't remember. It's a magical girl transformation scene. It's a thing. The best thing is that there's a stinger for Kuma Shock. Shock! Kuma Shock.
I'm just thinking of, like, the new meaning that could be applied to the 10 out of 10 country bear term, honey bear. Oh, dear.
Also, bears eat humans. It's what they do. That's all.
Or, like, eat out humans, you know?